Hey everybody, welcome to Two Comic Book Dudes. I'm Aaron Clutter, Editor-in-Chief of Comic Booked.
Hey everybody, Justin.
And with me...
Yeah, I'm here. We're here.
Yep. And tonight we have a very special guest, Emily Moberly, who is the founder of Traveling Stories.
Yeah, I'm right? The founder and the CEO. I like to say founder and CEO. But you could say executive director. Yeah.
Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about your organization and kind of what you do with it, and a really cool giveaway that you're doing, or promotion thing.
Yeah,
so,
awesome. Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, Traveling Stories. I've taken a look at the website, and of course some of the stuff that you sent me. Really a cool concept. So I'll let you take it away.
Cool. Yeah. Traveling Stories is a nonprofit organization. And it's something that I started 7 years ago, mostly because I'm a really big book nerd. So hopefully some of the viewers can relate to that. Hopefully I'm not alone. In fact, like my best friend growing up was Nancy Drew for a long time. So as I got older, I ended up teaching in Honduras for a year. And it was the first time in my life where the kids that I was in just never fallen in love with reading. The only things they had literally read were textbooks. I think we can all agree that textbooks are just not how you fall in love with reading. So my students were like 16 years old and they hated reading and they teased me because I liked to read.
I love textbooks.
You're the one person. I thought I would, finally found you. So I got to bring all these books back to my students in Honduras, and I got to watch them fall in love with reading for the first time. And it sounds cheesy and it sounds like I'm making it up, but I swear, I still get messages from my students and they were like, hey, I just had a kid and I'm reading them stories every night because of the stories you told me when you were my teacher, or I'm whatever, it looks awesome and it's the reason why I decided to become a doctor, or all these really cool stories. And so that was back in 2009. Yeah, my students inspired me to start this nonprofit so I could give that same experience to kids all over the world and all over the United States. And so what we do now is we do these mobile story tents, and we set up these tents at community hotspots, places that are not traditionally educational. Where we are mostly is farmers markets. And so kids come to the farmers market, they come to our tent, they read out loud with volunteers, so it gets super noisy and hectic. And for every book they read, they get book bucks. I think I had a stack, but I don't know where they are now. So with their book bucks, they can buy, and we have candy, pencils for like one book buck. But we have bigger prizes like field trips, basketballs, back to school backpacks, for a lot more. And so in this way, kids are, they're learning money management skills. They're learning how to read. They're falling in love with reading. But they're also learning, like independence, confidence. They're able to read books, make this fake money, and then buy stuff that they want or need. See how that not only kind of impacts the way that they view reading and books, but it also kind of just changes how they view themselves and what they're capable of. So that's
cool.
That's Traveling Stories. Yeah,
nice. Well, that's just like real life. You make fake money, and then you
exactly, you pay it all in taxes.
That's right. That's right.
It's really fun. Right now we are we actually just opened 2 new programs. So we do a weekly story tent at different places in San Diego, which is where I'm based and where I am right now. But we have a kind of like a social franchise model where someone can work with us to start their own story tent without all the hassle of starting their own nonprofit. And so this past month, we opened new programs in Nashville and Arkansas, Stuttgart, Arkansas.
Wow.
So it's been busy for us, but we're hoping to get something on the East Coast someday, I think.
How long has this been going on? Like, how long ago was it when you started?
Yeah, great question.
From the idea to get going.
So I taught in Honduras in 2009, and I started the nonprofit in 2010. So, I mean, I was pretty obsessed, and I thought about it a lot. So I moved pretty quickly. But it took 5 years for the nonprofit to grow before I got hired. So I had like 2 other jobs, was working so many hours, and was doing the nonprofit on like nights and weekends the first 5 years. And in those first 5 years, we built 7 international libraries, and we started 2 weekly programs in San Diego. And then we came up with the franchise model. But the last 2 years have been awesome because it's been my full-time.
Wow.
It's going to come back. We're going to be.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm having little technical difficulties on my end here too. So it's just the nature of it. So I noticed your connection's a little. Okay. Yeah, you can hear us, so I can hear you guys too. I can.
It's probably
my
better
screen's
if you can't
frozen.
see me anyway.
No, that's all right. There we go. So yeah, my screen's been frozen for the last 10 minutes. So, but that's it's really cool. It's definitely a neat concept and a neat organization. Provides a great service. It's very cool. So
yeah, I was surprised. I mean, you guys might already be familiar, but like I was really surprised when I learned what the reading levels are like here in America. You know, I grew up with books I was read to every night, but it's about 82% of kids in low-income families are not reading proficiently by the 4th grade. 60-something% for all kids, like regardless of what their income is. And if you're not able to read proficiently, I think we all can agree that it makes it a lot harder for you to excel and succeed in other ways. So I don't know, I feel really excited that we're able to be part of that solution. And at the same time, I'm kind of angry and surprised that it is such a big problem.
Yeah. Now, do you have ways for people to donate books to you or get, get them, or how does that work?
That's a great question. We do. And so actually right now we have so many books that we're unable to take more books. But if someone had like storage space or like office space available in San Diego, we would love it. We would, for free. And then we could take more books. But right now what we are accepting and what we always need are prize donations. And like a dollar store, you can go on Amazon and pick out like some of those, ship them to our office in San Diego. And we can use those as prizes to motivate kids to read. And then also, I mean, financial donations always help. It costs us $5 to provide the Story 10 experience for one kid for a whole month. So I like to think of it, like one latte is like a month of reading support for a kid. And I usually go with both, no chance or no reason to cut out the coffee. I just let's spend just $5 more.
Yeah, that's good.
I had a question. Go ahead. Like you were saying, the reading age is very low. Do you find that in these areas they just don't have access to books, or they choose not to?
That's a great question.
I mean, like,
it's like, how does this happen?
Know what the underlying reason is?
I've explored that. I would say here in the U.S., I think, with libraries and with books, I feel like they are much more accessible than, say, other countries. Some other countries. There are a lot of kids, though, who don't have books in their home, and that is one of the factors. But I'd say the bigger factor is just the attitude and this push that reading is something you have to do for school, and not necessarily having it at home or having that behavior modeled by other people. And sometimes it's not because the parents don't want to. Like, we work with a lot of families who are low income and the parents are working, 3-4 jobs, and they come home and they just honestly are exhausted and can't read with their kid or their own reading. So I think part of it has to do with, making it fun and making it a family activity as something that they can then repeat at home outside of school. I think it's just I think there are books. I think there's just a lack of that one-on-one help. A lot of the kids seem to really struggle and no one's there to read with them slowly. And like, sometimes it hurts. Like, kids are, if they're not reading very well, it takes forever. But that's what they need. They need someone to sit there with them and really labor with them until they get better. I mean, it's like anything, you know, you need to practice, and it's hard to practice that by yourself.
Right.
So I think that's the big issue. I think it's just that lack of practice and not having those people, which is why one person read out loud to all the kids, we make the kids read out loud to the volunteers. And it's like, you know, you have like all these small groups of people reading, so that we can provide that one-on-one help with that kids need.
That's nice.
But I mean, there's a lot of organizations doing education. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of causes, a lot of reasons, a lot of things that can be done. And so I'm excited that Traveling Stories is just like one organization that's part of that effort. And we definitely try, you know, we're trying to do something that other people are not, so that we're not just doubling up that effort. So I think, you know, all these things are good. They're all needed, but I've found that kids need that cheerleader kind of person.
Right. Yeah. Somebody enthusiastic about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, think about like. Oh no.
Sorry. No, you're right. We can hear you.
We can hear you still, so that's good.
Okay, good.
Well, one of the things too, I think with the story tents, it's kind of like an event. It's like a thing, you know. It's like going to the fair or something. So it's something special for the kids to be able to do, compared to just going, oh, great, I'm going to go in this room and talk to people, and they're going to tell me to read, and I'm going to read to them. You know, it's a thing, and then it's cool.
Yeah. We used to have this thing called the bookmobile that came to school.
Yeah.
It was like
I love the bookmobile. That was awesome.
You loved it because it got you out of class. You know, it got you like cool books and stuff. So.
That's a good point. One of the things we're working on right now is we're looking at. So most of the kids we work with are reluctant readers. You know, they're not going to go to a library. They're not going to go, whatever, you know, pick up a book on their own. So we're looking at like, who do those kids look up to, and what are those kids interested in? And that's one reason why, like, we just did a partnership with Ryan Sheckler. He's a skateboarder. We've done some stuff with Landon Donovan, the soccer player. We did this mindfulness event with Prince Daniels Jr. He was but that's one reason why I love that we partner with IDW Publishing, because comics are so much fun, and the kids at our program who don't want to read will pick up a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic, or a Transformers comic, or a My Little Pony comic. So I think that's a big part of it too. Like at school, you might be limited in terms of what's cool or what's acceptable for reading, but at the story tent, you can read literally anything, as long as it's not a romance novel or something.
Nothing trashy.
Yeah.
Not yet, anyway.
No.
Nothing trashy.
Right. Yeah. Well, IDW has some of the best. They really have some of the best stories out there of the stuff that I've read in the last. You know, I've been back into comics for the last 5 or 6 years, and I love IDW. They've come a long way since they booted back in what was that, 2004 when they started back up.
Well, they've got a good base of licensed products with, you know, like you said, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, you know, stuff that people are familiar with, like G.I. Joe. They've got all that. So, like, it's something that even if you don't know about comics, you know about that just because it's in, like, you know, it's just around. Like, everybody knows about it. So, it's a good gateway.
That's so true. That is so true.
Yep.
Speaking of IDW, have you... Or go ahead.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. I was just going to ramble on about comic books for another 10 minutes.
No, we can talk about comics all day. I love comics. But I was going to ask you guys, if speaking of IDW, had you heard about our sweepstakes with them for San Diego Comic-Con? And are you entering? Have you done it?
No, I haven't entered, but that is something that we want to talk about today. So we definitely want to tell everybody that there are tickets to be had. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Cool. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm really excited about it because, you know, I've seen San Diego Comic-Con grow year after year after year, and it's no one can get tickets. It sells out so fast. This year is sold out in like an hour. And so I'm super excited that Traveling Stories was able to partner with San Diego Comic-Con and IDW. And we're putting together the sweepstakes, and it ends on Wednesday. So there's only a few days left. But the grand prize is 2 passes to Comic-Con. So it's like the whole, like 4 days, the whole thing. Hotel for 2, which is a big deal because hotels are already sold out for Comic-Con. So that's crazy. Yeah. Airfare within the continental U.S. So, you know, anywhere you're listening right now, if you're like, hey, I want to win this prize, we'll fly you from there to San Diego, as long as you're in the continental U.S. That's cool. And then you also get to meet Kevin Eastman, the co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's amazing.
I'm going to enter right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
You can also get tickets to the Winona Earp cast party. So we're trying to appeal to, you know, anyone who's kind of familiar with IDW and the stuff that they do. But Winona Earp is awesome. Great. One of my favorite shows. I'm super excited for season 2 starting on Friday.
I haven't finished season 1 yet, so don't tell me.
Oh my gosh! Okay, well I won't say anything.
I know.
You gotta hurry. You only have a few days.
I know.
But it's gonna be. I mean, the prize is awesome, and the way to enter is you donate. So like $10 gives you 10 chances to win, and all the money that we're raising goes to Traveling Stories for our programs for those kids. So like the passes. IDW is donating all that stuff. We got some great deals on the hotel and the flight. So it's, you know, like one person's gonna win this awesome prize. Everyone else is gonna at least know that they did a lot of good in the world and they helped a kid find the book that they're gonna love forever and ever and ever.
That's awesome.
So, you know, it's neat. It's neat too. Just it's given us an opportunity as we've been promoting the sweepstakes for the last like month and a half to connect with people like you guys and other comic book lovers and just Comic-Con lovers and pop culture lovers and read. And it's honestly been a real pleasure just getting to know more people and more nerds and seeing how they resonate with what we're trying to do. So, you know, it's been fun making lots of new friends.
That's cool. Well, and one thing, you know, I think as I think about what we're talking about with literacy and everything, you know, we write a lot of articles for our website, and a lot of times we have to dumb those articles down to the point where our general population can read it, and it's hard sometimes. You're talking about issues that, you know, so many anymore, so much everything is so politically charged or emotionally charged, and you have to, you know, kind of write about different things that maybe take a little higher level of understanding, and to think that your general population is reading at a 3rd or 4th grade level. It's hard. It's hard to write about the you know, issues with gender in comic books or you know, political and religious affiliations of writers and how it affects their you know, the way they put a book across or things that happen. You know, there was some comic a month or so ago where the author put in some symbolism that was very religiously charged and ended up getting fired because of it, you know, and those kinds of things don't lend themselves to being written at a 3rd or 4th grade level. So we definitely, it's in our best interest to encourage reading, to encourage organizations that are going to help to build that up. So that's great.
That's a really good point. And I'm going to share maybe just a short, quick story with you. I don't share it with everyone. It's not the reason I started Traveling Stories, but it's like a small side reason. So a while back, I had gone on a date with a guy, and I remember it was like when the Great Gatsby movie was coming out, so it was a while ago. And he had asked me, he was like, well, what, like, are you seeing any movies? I was like, yeah, I can't wait to see this Great Gatsby movie because it's like one of my favorite. Well, I just said that. And he's like, oh, yeah, I think I've heard of that. Is that like based on a book or something? And I was like, oh. I was like, that's it.
Yeah, just, you know.
I'm starting to people fall that this kind of stuff never happens. And I just, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I mean, I tend to like talk about, you know, the kids and all that lovey-dovey stuff. But the truth is, like, if the world can read better, it benefits all of us.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
In a lot of ways. More empathetic, less stupid people. Lots of good.
Even beyond that, just the way the world's going is everything's digital. If you want something, you can find it. Just go read an article. It's not that difficult.
Right.
The information's there. So if we don't build on the kids now, then they're going to have a problem later on just finding general information.
And not. Sorry, I was just going to say, not every book can be turned into a movie. So, we need to encourage them to be able to read. I do that with my kids. I'm like, okay, this movie's coming out, but you really need to read the book. And I do try to encourage my kids to read the books behind the movies first. And a lot of times I'll say, hey, we're going to go see this movie, but I want you to read the book first. When Ender's Game came out, I bought the book for my son, and I said, read the book first, and then we'll go see the movie. So,
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's so many benefits to reading, There's like health benefits, anxiety, like it helps with your anxiety, your health, all these things. It's like one of the easiest, most like core things that you can address to have so many other benefits. Plus, it's just a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We agree. We read.
Yeah, it's like the choir.
No, reading is bad.
every Wednesday we have a whole bunch of new stuff to read before the next Wednesday. So it's a race. We're race reading.
I like that. That's a good point, huh?
Yeah.
I should incorporate that somehow.
So comic book readers are probably like one of your quickest group of readers, I would say. Like we can hammer out, and then we can hammer out books. Also something that I was thinking about. A lot of novels have been turned into comics, so there's a ton of series.
That's a good point. Did you see? I just saw on Facebook today, which is where I get all my news. That To Kill a Mockingbird is being turned into a graphic novel.
Oh, really?
I'm really excited. Yeah. So on your point, I can't wait. I can't wait to see how it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I will check that out.
I didn't actually start reading comics until a couple years ago. When we started getting connected with IDW, I probably shouldn't say that, but okay, good.
You start somewhere
now, and I found that it's actually like a way different reading experience. Being able to process the words and the pictures at the same time. It definitely took me a while to kind of get into a groove, and it's different. It's a different reading experience, but very cool. Seems like most of the kids that read the comics are also the kids in our program who are gravitating to comics tend to also really enjoy drawing or just seem to be more creative visually. It's been interesting.
That's interesting. Well, I've noticed too, just kind of depends on what you're reading and what company you're reading from, because I've noticed IDW tends to have kind of levels to their books. So some books are a little more reedy than others, and the same thing with like Marvel and DC and the other companies. They tend to have some books that are a little more word heavy and a little other ones that are a little less word heavy, and it just depends. Sometimes the story can be portrayed without as many words.
True. That's a good point.
It's an interesting medium. Yeah, but there are some great. IDW definitely has some great books out right now. I know I've been reading the Highlander, the American Dream. I love the Highlander movies, so when I saw that series was out, I had to pick that up. It's pretty cool. Nice. I just finished all the Lock and Key series. Have you guys picked those up yet? I love the ending. That was really
yeah. Oh, they're good.
I like the finale. The last two books of that series were really good. I did pick those up. That was excellent. I heard. I know they. I know they were working on a movie. Originally they were working on a movie and then a TV show, and then they kind of put that on hold. I know there's still discussion about it, but right now they don't, kind of have anything on the docket right now. But I think that would be a cool TV show to see. So.
I think so too. I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of scared reading it. I had to keep the lights on and like watch something funny or read something funny afterward for some of it. But So I think the TV show, when that gets made, I think might be a little too scary for me, but I can watch it during the daytime or something.
Yeah, and some of it was definitely pretty creepy. But you know, no worse than like Supernatural or some of the other shows. So
yeah,
I think it could definitely find a viewership right now. I was just
agree,
talking
absolutely.
I was talking to somebody the other day about comic book TV and kind of how it's evolved. And you know, NBC had a show called The Cape that was out one season. It was a really, really good show.
It didn't make it.
It was because it was the beginning of the comic book TV shows, and it didn't get that viewership right away. And within like a year, then the Arrow kicked off, and then it was, you know, all of these other shows, boom, 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 and they're all super popular. And I'm like, if the Cape would have just waited like a year, it would have been, you know, 5 or 6 seasons in a movie, and you know, but it's stuff like that. It just doesn't always get timed properly, you know. But there's a lot of properties that IDW has. They have some great stuff. You know, older stuff and newer stuff. I remember the Transformers. They used to have Transformers. I don't. Do they still have Transformers, Justin?
Yep.
Okay.
I believe so.
I don't. I stopped reading Transformers and GI Joe stuff, so you know, last thing I picked up from them was Strawberry Shortcake. So you know, yeah,
yeah. We man, we've gotten to do a lot of stuff. One time, IDW came out to our story tent, some of their staff, and did this whole workshop for the kids, teaching them like the process of how comic books are made, and then how to read comic books. It was like, and the kids were so excited. They're like, "You work like where these are."
Nice.
Like, and they just, and the like employees are just like, all I do is marketing, you know, whatever. I'm not like a writer. They're like, you are so amazing.
That's funny.
We're really lucky to have them in San Diego, you know, so close. We got to do a couple field trips at their gallery. Events. They're great.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And they send us review stuff all the time for their books. So they're definitely a really good company. I like working with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's cool.
That's good. It'd be sad if you didn't like them, or you know, if they were into you or something. Then I could go and be like,
it made me mad, you know.
Yeah, they should send us free comic books.
Awesome.
We get them electronically. That's the best we could do. But.
It's okay.
That's not bad. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, there you go.
So where can people enter the contest?
Great question. There's a really long website.
Okay.
And you would think I'd have it memorized by now, but I don't. So maybe I can give that to you. Maybe there's a way for us to post it on here after.
Yep, we'll have it.
Yeah, something like click below. It's like tapcat.com, sweepstakes, blah, 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 blah. People can also, if they don't want to like click on a link, but they have their smartphone, they can text SDCC 17 to the number 51555, and then the link will just get texted to.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
We'll put that down in the description below also.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. If you guys don't mind, that would be awesome.
No, sure.
And it ends on Wednesday. It ends the 14th, and then we're going to pick the winner the following week. And we're going to announce it at the IDW office at their gallery, actually. We'll have it live stream.
Awesome.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that's it. Right now, $1,000, which is
wow.
It's our goal. Our goal is $15,000. No, I wonder if because if we can get to I think I froze.
Okay. We lost your video, but we got your sound back, so you'll have to say all that again.
You're good.
So, good. 20,000. That's all. 20,000.
Okay. All right. So if you get to 20,000, you said, was there something special there?
Yeah, if we get to 20,000, that will provide the funding for a story tent for 500 kids for a whole year.
Very cool.
52 weeks of reading support for 500 kids.
Nice. Wow. Okay.
Pretty good value. It's like $40 a kid. It's amazing.
That really is really good.
It is. We're a good value. We try.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, go online, enter, hurry before the time runs out. And if you're interested, if anyone's interested in just getting more involved with Traveling Stories, you can always follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. You can send us a message. If you're in San Diego, come visit a story tent. If you want to start your own story tent, let me know. We'll walk you through the process. We're just looking to make friends. One day we're going to take over the world. So
yeah, right. That's good. That's a good goal. It's my goal as well.
We'll do it together.
Yeah, that's right. Well, do you guys have plans of attending any comic conventions this year to kind of promote Traveling Stories, or?
We would love to. Right now, we don't have plans. We're staying kind of local. Although I will actually be in New York next week for the National Book Foundation's conference on why reading matters. I get to speak about Traveling Stories, so that should be fun.
Very nice.
Yeah. Right now, other than that, we're not doing much. We're gonna be in San Diego.
I mean,
I wish so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is it's pretty great. It's pretty great. We are trying to put together a party, a Comic-Con party with Traveling Stories, and it's going to feature a costume contest. And there's a chance that we're going to have, it's random, but there's a chance that we're going to have judging the costume contest, Calvin Johnson, former NFL,
oh, nice.
I don't know.
That's cool.
Don't tell him. I don't necessarily follow. Don't tell anyone, actually. Don't tell anyone the football partner.
Nobody who watches this is allowed to tweet him and say, hey, I'll see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't tell him. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But there's some guys that we work with who are coming to Comic-Con and they want to do something. And then just with all the people we've met through the sweepstakes, we thought it'd be fun to do some kind of Traveling Stories thing. So as that gets firmed up, we'll be posting on our social media. Another reason to follow us, and it should be fun.
Nice.
We like to have.
And we'll have all those links in the description for the video as well, so they can stalk you on all social media.
Good, please.
Very cool.
I call it journalistic research.
You don't like the word stalking, is that what you're saying?
It weirds people out, so Yeah. I don't mind if people stalk me, that's fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, Emily, we do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to talk about Traveling Stories and to tell our viewers about the very cool giveaway. It's definitely incentive, I think, to chip in $5 or $10 for a great cause.
Awesome. Thanks. Right. I really appreciate you guys inviting me on and showing an interest in Traveling Stories. We honestly, we wouldn't make it if it weren't for people like you taking an interest in helping us spread the stories. So appreciate it.
We're glad to help.
Myself and all the kids, we all say thank you.
Very cool. All right. Well, thanks for being here. And if any of you viewers out there have any questions for Emily, let us know. We can forward them along to her, or you'll get the links in the description as well. Definitely check out the website. We'll have all that stuff. And then check out our website as well, comicbook.com. Look for a link there, a picture to click on, so you don't have to read a whole bunch of words, but there'll be a picture. And you can click, and it'll take you right to the site so that you can donate. We have to make it simple for our viewers,
Hey, I understand less reading and more giving.
Yep. Right, exactly.
So that kids
are reading. Yes.
Awesome.
It's too late for our generation. It's too late for our generation. We just make sure the kids can read.
Yeah, that's it. We can do it.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks again, Emily, and we appreciate you taking the time. Everybody out there, thanks for watching, and go read more comics.
Have a good one.
Thank you.